I did not fall. Okay, we're going to put this panel back in the same exact way we pulled it out. What's up, my YouTube people? Thanks for coming back to see just what I do today. Hope you're having a great day today. It's a rather late filming of this video. Now, you saw the title of this video. It was called Fixing the Beast Again. Now, what is the beast? What do I call the beast? That would be my fridge. Now, unfortunately, this type of fridge has two condensers. This is a 2011 Samsung fridge. I have to bring my light along with me so you can see what I'm doing, because it's about 9:30 at night that I'm filming this. Now, I believe it went out the other day. Now, these Samsung fridges are great, but they just have one flaw. In the Samsung fridge, it comes with two condensers. One for the freezer side, one for the fridge side. And one of the main ways you can always tell when your condenser has gone out on your fridge is when you open your Samsung fridge, you don't hear the fan shut off. Now normally you'd hear a fan shut off right now, and right now you hear nothing. So, as you can tell, I have the bottom drawers and shelves out right now. And the easiest way to tell what is wrong with it is the condenser in the fridge tends to freeze up, completely freeze up. Yes, there is a defrosting button. You hold down a certain amount of buttons and it defrosts it and all that happy ass crap. But anyways, I don't like to do that because that defrosts the freezer side and the fridge side. I'm not having trouble with the freezer side, just with the fridge side. Sorry, I got distracted. I got little tiny helpers pestering me. Little tiny helpers. But anyways, the easiest way to tell that if your condenser went out, well, not went out, but froze, or your fan froze, is you'll see ice. You see it? The ice right there. There's ice all along the bottom right here. That tells me that the fan that circulates the cold air from the condenser has frozen over. Now, this is the second time I've had to do this with this fridge. So I'm going to show you how to easily fix the beast. Why do I call this thing the beast? Because it's freaking huge. It's bigger than any other fridge we've had before. And it tried to kill me getting it in the house. But anyways, I'm going to show you how to fix the beast real quick. Let me grab some tools and I will show you how to fix this. The first thing that I'm going to do with the fridge before I go to start working on the inside is to turn the fridge side off. I don't need it cooling while I've got the door open. That's just sort of pointless. So, the next thing is to do, let me set you up real quick. If you hear a chiming noise, it's the fridge. It sort of tattles on you when you've had the door open too long. But the first thing that we're going to do is take a screwdriver and pop the light covers off gently, because we don't want to ruin them. They just need to go back on. Do the same thing with the other side. Now there's 6 screws that hold this main panel right here on. I'm going to remove those screws real quick, and then I'll show you and tell you the next part. Okay, we've got all those screws out now. Now you don't want to just go yanking at this panel, because there is foam pieces back behind that you do not want to ruin. If I so happen to rip one or ruin one, I will show you how I jimmy rig it, Frankenstein it back together. But the other tool that you're going to need to fix this problem is a hairdryer. Because you can't just go yanking on this panel right now because it's still rather frozen right there. You can hear it crunching and making noise. We're going to loosen it, melt some of the ice with the hairdryer first before we go yanking this panel off. So you want it on high heat and all that happy ass crap, but you don't want to hold it in one place for too long because we don't need to ruin things and have to have someone come out and fix a bigger problem. Okay, so we're going to hit this with the blow dryer now. The point, I'm going to go for a bit longer, and then I will bring you back when I go to pull the panel off. Okay, I finally got that dang thing to come loose. About 20 minutes sitting here with the damn blow dryer. Finally got it to come loose. As you can tell, it's finally loose. But you can't just go yanking. As I said before, there is foam back behind that if you rip or tear, then you gotta figure out how to fix. Now, if I did that, I will show you how I jimmy rig fix it, as I said before. But if you notice, you can't just go yanking off this panel for another reason. Hold on, let me grab my light. And that is, back there are two electrical components that you have to unplug first. So you can't just go yanking this panel off. So I'm going to unplug those real quick, pull it out, set this on the floor behind me, and I will show you the next step on how to fix the beast. Okay, finally got that darn panel out. It likes to be stubborn, just like everything else. As you can see here, that there is a lot of ice formed around the condenser. This thing here is called the condenser. Now there is, sorry, trying to get my light to sit still. There is a line, you see this line here going around the edge, all the way around? That is the defroster. I don't like using the defroster because it defrosts the freezer side too, which I don't need the freezer side fixed, it's just the fridge side that likes to be a butt. So, we are going to have to remove all this ice and frost, all of it, before we can put anything back together. And the easiest way to do that is, of course, just take the big chunks down. Now, you don't want to just grab a hammer or a screwdriver and just start whacking at this. You're going to need a new condenser then, and then you got a whole nother problem. So the easiest way to fix this problem is, again, the hairdryer. So you're going to sit here with the hairdryer and melt all this ice and frost in this tiny freaking space. I'm going to finish up this while the other panel melts a little bit. I'll show you the panel here in a little bit and show you what exactly is wrong with it. Okay, let me melt some more of this and then I'll show you the panel. Okay, after sitting here for a bit with the hairdryer on high, and again, you don't want to leave it in one place for too long because you don't need to ruin something and have to have the whole new friggin' fridge. But anyways, as you can see, I got the big chunk of ice off and everything's semi-clear of ice. Now, one way I could tell that there's nothing wrong with my condenser is if you notice right there, there is a bunch of frost already forming on some of the main parts of the condenser. Because again, that big metal thing right there is the condenser. That's what helps keep your fridge cool. And then there's a fan that sits in front of it that tends to spin to circulate your cool air. Now, the reason why my fridge isn't cold on this side anymore is that the ice and frost built up so much on the condenser, on and around the condenser, that it stopped the fan from working, which is on that other panel, which I'll show you in just a minute. So, as you can see, I got all the ice off as much as possible. We're going to dry everything down below before we go putting anything back in. But for now, let me show you what we need to do with that panel that we took out of here. Okay, here is the panel. Sorry about the crappy lighting. This is why I normally film during the day. This big black thing right here would be the fan. As you see down underneath, the fin will not move. Or, let me show you better. The fin will not move. That's because it's got ice stuck all the way around it. So I just had this, my little mini helpers, I just had this motor replaced for free from Appliance Factory Outlet. Sorry, I blanked on where the heck I got the fridge. But yeah, they came out and replaced it for free because I diagnosed it and everything, so all they had to do was come out with the part. She's trying to help melt the ice. You're nut. But anyways, so I know there's nothing wrong with this motor right here. The only thing that's wrong is ice built up around the fan and it just stopped working. And the mini helpers. So the easiest way to fix this problem is, again, with the hairdryer. It's going to scare you. Again, you want to be careful that you don't want to melt like the foam. Yes, I did rip some foam right there. So I'm going to show you how I jimmy rig fix it so it goes back together, because you need it to seal and keep the condenser cold and all that happy ass crap. But anyways, you want to do the same thing with this as we did inside with the condenser. And again, you don't want to hold it in one place for too long because you don't need to melt the plastic if you have a really strong hairdryer like I do. So we're going to melt some ice until... Is he going to get you, bear? Is he going to get you, big bear? So we're going to move the hairdryer all along here until all the ice is melted and this fin will move freely. Now, of course, I have a towel down first. I put a towel down before I started this because you are going to make a mess. Either that or do this process outside. My light fell, but you kind of get the point. I'm going to keep going with the hairdryer until this fin will move freely. As you can see, it's starting to, but it won't spin completely. So I'm going to keep going with the hairdryer until that moves on its own. Well, not on its own, but freely. Okay, sitting here for about 20 minutes or so, trying to get all the ice off, because not only did we have to get the ice off that was visible here, there was ice inside the panel that we had to get loose to get the fan to go freely. And as you can see, the fan now spins freely with absolutely no problem. So now, on to the other problem, is we ripped the foam a little bit. Now, as you can tell, I have jimmy rigged this once before, because this is the second time I've had to do this with this fridge. The first time I had to do this, the ice was actually a lot worse, so I caught this just in time. So there is, now you can just go and order the new foam piece, but then you gotta wait for it to show up and then take the fridge all back apart again and put it in. It's a whole thing. So there is one easy jimmy rigged way to fix this. If I can get my camera to sit still, I'll show you. Is we are going to take a little dab. No, honey. Of Elmer's glue and put it on the foam. No, honey. Honey keeps trying to help. Just sort of to hold the foam down in place while we do the other part. No, honey. Now the other part, see, you can see it kind of oozing out right there. That's exactly what you want. It just sort of holds it all together in place until we get the other part on. Now you're going to take your good and sturdy, trusty duct tape. Now this is wet to the touch. It's foam, it soaks up the water, so it's inevitable. Now, normally duct tape won't stick to anything that's wet, but we're going to put it in place. Sorry about the crappy lighting again. We're going to put that in place over where we ripped the foam. And now we are going to take the hairdryer to it for a couple minutes until it starts to form to the foam. Now you want to be careful not to melt the foam. So we don't need to melt the foam with the heat. We just want to get the sticky on the duct tape to be a bit more sticky and stick to the foam. As you can see, it's all fixed. See, it won't pull up now. So that is one way I fix the foam. Now that piece right there is coming loose, so we're going to hit this little corner right here with a little bit of heat from the hairdryer. Now I don't know how well you can tell on the camera, but it's kind of taken the form and ridges of the foam. So now that part is all fixed. Now it will probably pull apart the next time I go to do this, because I'll probably have to do it about once a month until the end of summer. And then not so much during the winter because, you know, it's colder. Now this happens easily in my house because I do not have air conditioning, so the house is always on the warm side. So the ice tends to build up on the condenser, which builds up on the panel, which builds up in the fan, which makes that fan stop working. Now if that fan stops working, that means your fridge isn't cold anymore. One of the reasons why your fridge isn't cold anymore. There's a whole checklist of things you got to go through before, you know, Anyways, so now that we've got that piece back into place, see, it won't come up anymore, and the glue will dry. That was mostly just to hold it in place and give it a little temporary fix. And now that we have the fan all uniced and ready to go, it moves freely, we're going to reattach the electrical, slide this panel back into place. We are not going to screw it back into place yet because we are going to make sure that the fan is still working. One way I do that is I go through, again, sorry about the crappy lighting, this panel right here, and I mark one of the fins of the fan. You can't see it because it's such crappy lighting. But I mark one of the fins of the fan in there, plug it in, wait a couple minutes, excuse me, and then go back in and check to see if it has moved. Now if it's moved, you don't see that mark on that fin anymore, then your fan is just fine and you don't need a new motor. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. Mark the fin and then we'll put it back into place. Now the easiest way to get back here to get your electrical plugged back in is to take the panel and just turn it sideways. And then you can take and plug your electrical back in. Like so. That one's the lights. This one's upside down. This one's the fan. Now of course the door's open, so it is not going to turn on, as you can tell. You gotta wait for the door to close because in this type of fridge, when you open the door, the fan shuts off. In other models, the fan just keeps blowing and wasting all your cool energy. So in this type of fridge, this fancy ass fridge, the fan shuts off as soon as you open the door. That's how you can always tell that your fan and your condenser are still working. And the ice hasn't shut them off yet. Is you'll literally hear the fan shut off. So we're going to stop talking, close the fridge, make sure that the mark that we made on one of the fins has moved, and then we can screw this all back into place and be done with this video. So we're just going to set this in place for now. We're not going to screw anything in. Close the fridge and let's make sure this fan works. Okay, I've sat here and waited. My helpers. I've sat here and waited for about 15 minutes. Now, it probably would have been a heck of a lot less time if someone would have remembered to, here's a thought, turn the fridge back on. So, make sure you turn the fridge back on before you go trying to see if the fan's going to work. And I checked and the mark is not visible that I made on one of the fins. So that tells me that the fan is working. Okay, now that we know for sure that that fan actually works and we don't have to worry about replacing the motor, we are going to just put this panel back in the same exact way we pulled it out. Now the top just sort of pops back into place. You'll feel everything just do a little pop. And then we just put the screws back in the same way. Sorry if you caught some funk on this top shelf here. I had some fish up there that decided to piss all over the shelf. So we're just going to put all 6 screws. Try that again. All 6 screws back in. Now you don't want to over tighten your screws because this is plastic and it will snap. We're going to start up here at the light covers first and then make our way down. Now I fumbled that screw, so now I have to pull off the panel and go back behind and get it. Okay, I had to pull that panel back off again because the bottom just was not sitting right. But I finally figured out what the problem was, and as you can see, she's sitting flush like she's supposed to now. Now, if you have a screwdriver that isn't magnetized, kind of like this one, to where the dang screw just keeps falling off, see if you can find yourself a magnet, stick it to the shaft of the screwdriver, and now you have a magnetized screwdriver, so your darn screw won't keep falling off as you're trying to stick it in the hole. Ta-da! And it actually works. Now, again, as I said before, you don't want to tighten these screws too far, because again, it is all plastic and it will snap easily. Okay, we're on the last two screws that are on the bottom, and then we are done with this dang project. We fixed the beast one more time. This is a very cramped, tiny hole to have to sit in. So there we go. We got all the screws back into place. We know the fan is working now, so the only thing left to do is to put on the light covers. As long as my helpers will stop trying to take off with them. So it's as easy as when they pulled off. You just got to make sure you have the right one. You take and you put those sides in first, swing it around, snap it back into place. Same thing with the other side. All snap back into place. So now the fridge lives, the beast lives for one more day. So there we go. That is how you fix a 2011 Samsung refrigerator when it's just your when it's just your refrigerator side that has gone out. So now we got the fridge working again. I'm going to turn everything back on, put all the shelves back in, put the drawers back in, because there's 3 drawers and a shelf I had to take out. But I'm going to stop rambling and end this video. So thanks for watching Just What I Do Today. This is just one more thing that I do. That's why this channel is called Just What I Do. This is a little bit of just what I do every day. I'm a jackass of all trades. So again, thanks for watching Just What I Do Today. Please subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you liked about this video. And I'll catch you next time on Just What I Do. Oh, and don't forget to whack the like button if you liked this video. Leave a comment down below if you didn't like this video. I don't care. I like reading all the comments. Just leave a comment. Thanks for watching Just What I Do. Stop rambling. Catch you next time. Bye.